Once upon a time, there lived a woodcutter in a desolate hut at the edge of the forest. He was poor and did not have enough money to build a house in the village. So, he built his house in this desolate hut at the edge of the forest. The woodcutter would collect dry wood every day and sell it to the villagers for a small amount of money. This amount of money was enough to buy food that day. The woodcutter would work tirelessly every day to prepare food for his daughters. One day, when he was eating with his daughters, he thought to himself, "I work hard every day, but I am only able to collect food for one day. If one day I fall ill or get into trouble, what will happen to my daughters? Who will give them food?" He decided he would have to work hard to save some money so that he could be ready for a difficult time. He decided that from the next day, he would collect more wood so that he could save some money. The next day, he went into the forest and started collecting broken and fallen branches. He kept moving from one place to another, but in the end, he realized that he was moving in the same place, and he had collected as much wood as he used to do every day. The reason was that the forest was small and he could get only that much wood every day. The woodcutter was disappointed and realized that collecting only wood would not be enough. So, he decided to find another job that would give him a better income. He went to the nearby village with the wood he had collected. He sold it and then started asking the shopkeepers and merchants for work. But he faced rejection everywhere, because he did not have any other skill other than collecting wood. He came back home sad and kept cursing his fate. At night, when he had fed his daughters and went to bed, he saw his axe hanging on the wall before he could put out the light. He had hung this axe just to decorate the house, because he never cut a tree. He knew that cutting a tree meant the end of the forest, and if the forest was destroyed, he would lose his livelihood. Apart from this, he had heard some other things about cutting trees that prevented him from doing so. And since ancient times, these rumors were circulating that the forest was under protection of an evil spirit, a monster that kills anyone who cuts trees or harms a forest. That is why people used to stay away from the forest. And apart from this poor woodcutter, no one used to go near the forest. After a lot of thinking, the woodcutter finally decided to use the axe, because this was the only way he could fulfill his wish. In the morning, the woodcutter took his axe and walked towards a forest. When he tried to cut a tree for the first time, he suddenly saw a pile of wood. At first, he thought that it might be a piece of another woodcutter. But when he looked around, there was no one there. Then he looked closely at the pile of wood and saw a piece of paper on it. It said, "Take this. This is for you." The woodcutter did not understand why this happened. But since he was in great need, he picked up the pile of wood without much thought and went to the village and sold it at a good price. Then he happily returned home. The same thing happened the next day. The pile of wood was still there. Since that day, the woodcutter would go to the forest every day and pick up the pile of wood. Without knowing where it came from or why it was given to him, he would sell it. A year passed, and the woodcutter continued to do this. As a result, he was able to make a living. But now that his daughters were growing up and their needs increased, the pile of wood was not enough. So he decided to cut the tree himself. When he picked up the axe to cut the tree, he suddenly heard a voice. "Oh, woodcutter, do not cut the tree." The woodcutter turned to the voice, but he did not see anyone there, except a black bird which was hovering over his head. He thought that he must have been hallucinating. Then he picked up the axe again. But this time, the scary monster appeared. The woodcutter was terrified. He threw the axe and started moving backwards. Then the monster said to him, "I have come to stop you from doing this. I know you as the woodcutter in the forest. I know that you are the father of 3 young daughters, and you are their only companion. I also know that you have always collected dry and fallen wood. You have never harmed the forest, but you once again decided to cut the tree because you were in dire need of money. That is why I used to give you a pile of wood every day so that the needs of your younger daughters could be fulfilled, and you do not cut the tree. But when you still decided to cut the tree, I came to you helplessly. I cannot bear the sight of trees being cut and dying, because I am the guardian of this forest. First, I disguised myself as a bird to scare you, but when you did not listen to me, I had to come in my real form, although I do not like to do this. Now, all I want from you is that you should be content with the pile of wood that I give you every day. This is enough for your needs. I will now put some extra money in this pile, so that you can fulfill the needs of your daughters. But remember, O woodcutter, I have never forgiven anyone who tried to harm the forest. You are the first person whom I have forgiven and offered help to, because you are a good and hard-working father. But I warn you, if you try to cut the tree again, you will not know what I will do to you. Saying this, the monster disappeared. The woodcutter returned home, but he could not believe that all this had really happened. After this incident, he understood the monster's wish and began to work on the pile of wood that he received every day. Everything was going well, until one day, his youngest daughter fell ill. The woodcutter took her to the doctor. After examining her, the doctor told him that the girl had a new disease that would take away her ability to move every day. Although there was a cure for this disease, it was very expensive. The herbs used to come from faraway India, and the cost of getting them was out of the reach of the woodcutter. The woodcutter was worried. Whatever money he had, it was nothing compared to the expenses of this treatment. Seeing his daughter's condition, he felt helpless, and he decided to go to the forest and cut down the trees and save enough money to buy medicine, even if it meant ignoring the monster's threat. When he reached the forest and was about to cut down the trees, he remembered the monster's warning that if he did this, he would take revenge. Then he thought about his daughter's condition and began to sit under a tree and cry. He began to call out to Allah. Suddenly, the monster appeared from afar and called him to himself. The woodcutter was scared at first, but he decided to go to the monster so that he could know the reason for his appearance. When he got close to him, he saw a well that was not there before. The monster said to him, "This well can heal your daughter by the grace of Allah if you bathe her 7 times with its water." Then he disappeared without saying a word. The woodcutter was filled with joy and ran to his hut with a ray of hope in his heart. He picked up his sick daughter and took her to that strange well. He filled the well with water and washed his daughter 7 times. Then he picked up his daughter and went back home. When he reached his hut, he heard his younger daughter laughing and playing, which he could not do before and was always sad. The woodcutter was overjoyed when he saw his younger daughter and her smiling face. The next day, the woodcutter went back to the forest to thank the monster for healing his daughter. But he did not meet him. He picked up a bundle of wood and walked towards a village. When he was returning, he met a doctor. When the doctor asked about his daughter, the woodcutter told him the story of the monster and the magical well. The doctor did not believe him at first, but he decided to confirm it. It was possible that the woodcutter was telling the truth and that the water would help people. The doctor gave the woodcutter a bundle and told him to bring water from the magical well so that he could treat a poor child whose parents did not have money for treatment. The woodcutter agreed and fulfilled his wish. When the doctor washed the sick child with the water of the magical well, the child suddenly stood up, running and playing, as if he had never been sick. The doctor was surprised, and now he believed the woodcutter. He offered the woodcutter a good salary on the condition that he would bring water from a magical well every day. But the woodcutter refused. When the doctor insisted, he agreed, but he had a condition that the doctor should take a reasonable fee for the treatment of the sick, and that he would not bring water himself. He knew how difficult it was. He himself had gone through this difficulty. That is why he wanted, as a monster had helped him, to be of use to others. When the woodcutter went to the village every day, he started taking water from a magical well. But to pick up the bundle of water and the bundle of wood together, he had to take less wood. Because of this, his income would decrease. He used his savings to make up for that loss. This went on until one day, the woodcutter's savings ran out. Now he could not understand what to do. Should he stop giving water to the doctor from a magical well, or should he put his daughter's water in danger and bring water? He thought about it and decided that he would tell the doctor to show him the way to the well so that he could bring water. When the boy saw the magical effects of the water in the well, he cleverly started bringing 2 buckets of water for a doctor, and as a secret, he started selling expensive drugs. But this plan did not last long. One day, the boy was surprised to see that the well had disappeared, as if it never existed. He ran to the doctor. The doctor called a woodcutter. When he came, the doctor asked the reason for the disappearance of the well. The woodcutter said that he did not know, but he was ready to go to the forest and ask the monster. He went to the forest and waited for the monster, but he did not come. The next day, he tried again. Still, there was no result. After trying for a week, the monster was not found. The woodcutter was disappointed and returned to the doctor. At that time, there was a crowd of patients coming from far away to the doctor's house who had heard about the healing of that magical water and had come with hope. The woodcutter felt helpless. For the last time, he went to the forest and called out loudly, "Monster, if you hear my voice, answer me in the name of God. If you do not want to meet me, appear to these innocent children, old people, and helpless patients. They all trust God and are hoping for us. I feel as if I have betrayed them. Help me." As soon as the call of the woodcutter was over, the monster appeared and said, "Oh, good woodcutter, I decided to make the well disappear when your chosen son made this holy water commodity and started earning money. But I knew that you never took money in exchange for water, nor did the doctor collect more money than patients. This was the reason why I kept the well open for you. But when it was made a commodity, I forcibly made it disappear." The woodcutter bowed and confessed, "Now I understand why you hid it. It was my mistake that I handed it over to an irresponsible person. Oh, good monster, give us one more chance." The monster hesitated. Then he said in a loud voice, "Because of your goodness, I returned the well. But now only you will be able to get water out of it. If anyone else tries, the well will be dry." The woodcutter said with concern, "But if I get busy getting water, who will sell the wood? How will my daughter survive?" The monster smiled. "Just as I gave you a bundle of wood, I will fulfill all your needs. Now go and tell the doctor not to take money from the poor, but to get a reasonable compensation from the rich and merchants. You both keep the money as per your needs. Spend the rest on the poor." The woodcutter shouted with joy, "You have always helped me, monster. I am grateful to you." After that day, the village turned upside down. A son-in-law of the woodcutter and a doctor's assistant started planting trees every week. The clean streams of water were dug up. With the help of the rich, free treatment for the poor began. The woodcutter became famous by the name of Angel. His daughters grew up and became engaged in social service. And the miracle of the well, the thieves hid many times to get water. But every time, the well was empty. This miracle was only good for the people. Finally, the village, which was once deserted, became an example of happiness. And all this was possible because of the honesty of a woodcutter, the mercy of a monster, and the miracle of a well.